Hey guys, Hyena Man here. So, I was thinking about doing a video today. Didn't really know what all to really do, but, um, I guess I would give you guys this one. I had a comment or two asking me to do more Goosebumps stuff. I don't really know if I have more Goosebumps stuff per se than last time, but I'm gonna go over basically all my horror books. So yeah, I guess let's start off here. Little dusty stuff. So this is not Goosebumps, but anyway, Five Nights at Freddy's, The Silver Eyes. It's good, you know. I'm gonna put that somewhere. We have a spare copy of Goosebumps, Welcome to Dead House. Yeah, love that book. Probably my favorite Goosebumps book. But yeah, I guess let's start off. My original copy, Welcome to Dead House. Like I said, that's like my favorite book in the Goosebumps series. I really only have read the original series. So, yeah. Stay Out of the Basement. Another good one. Monster Blood. Yeah. Love Monster Blood. Say Cheese and Die. That's a nice one. Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. I thought this one was pretty good. Yeah, probably not top 10 material, but I thought it's good. I wouldn't say this one's top 10 material either, but still good. You know, Let's Get Invisible. I liked the I really liked the idea of this book a lot more than the actual book. You know, A Cursed Mirror, and I'm not even sure if I'm remembering this right. A cursed mirror that takes you from the real world to a different world, basically, is how I'm taking it. So, yeah. Night of the Living Dummy. I'm not a big fan of the Dummy books, to be honest with you. But, yeah. And they're alright. Not my favorite, but, cannot deny Slappy's, what's the word? Being iconic for Goosebumps. I think if there was no Slappy, Goosebumps wouldn't be as big as it is. Even though I don't really care too much for the Slappy books. Girl Who Cried Monster. You know, I personally think this book is overrated. I think the whole story is overrated. I still think it's a good book, but I wouldn't say it's like a classic like everyone says it is. Personally speaking. Welcome to Camp Nightmare. Out of the camp books, this is one of my favorites. Probably is my favorite, honestly. The Girl Who Cried Monster, and I got some weird red marker markings on this book, apparently. I got this from a friend a while ago, but I do not remember there being markings on it. Decent story. I liked it for what it was. Here's one of my favorites. Again, The Haunted Mask. Not a big fan of that sticker right there, but what can you do? Okay, let me try to get this back in here. Hang on, guys. Okay. So, that was The Haunted Mask. Be careful what you wish for. Not one of my favorites, honestly. But it's alright. Piano Lessons Can Be Murder. This one's pretty good, I thought. But I will say this. The cover is a lot better than the book actually is. I go back and forth to saying this book is in my top 10 to not being in my top 10. So, yeah. It's probably more like in my top 20 than anything. Top 15 maybe. But I do feel like the actual artwork on the front cover is a lot better than the book actually is. Personally. And then here we have I'm just gonna do this. I do not know why these are sticking to each other. But we got The Werewolf of Fever Swamp. Looks like I found a little sticky area, apparently. Damn. That sucks. More stickiness, apparently. You Can't Scare Me. This book was annoying as hell. I did not like it. You know, the cover art is a lot better than the book actually is as well. So, and then we get to One Day at Horrorland. This one's actually pretty good. You know, personally saying, I think it's good. Now I have to try to. Great. You know what? I'll just put it right there for now. Then we have this. Why Am I Afraid of Bees? It's okay. Then we're getting Monster Blood 2. I thought this was a great book. You know, a great sequel. Is it as good as the original Monster Blood? No, but I still think it was pretty good. Deep Trouble. I didn't really I like it up until the ending, basically. So the ending, I thought it fell apart badly. So there you go. The Scarecrow walks at midnight. I thought it was good. I mean, it's one of my favorites. Go eat worms. Oh man. As far as characters go, the main character in this book is just I'm not even sure what to even say about him. You know, putting, guess you could call him a disgusting freak, I guess. Putting worms in on his sister and stuff. But once it gets to the part where the worms start to turn on him and show up in weird places around him after he cuts one up and stuff, I thought that's where this story works. But until then, it's not really a good story. Ghost Beach, you know, it's good. I think it's good. Return of the Mummy, I thought it was good too. You know, kind of tied with The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. It's the sequel to Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. Sorry, I needed to give my arm a little rest. Phantom of the Auditorium. Kind of a Phantom of the Opera, you know, story like, you know, like the Phantom causing mischief in the rafters and stuff, but not as good as, you know, Phantom of the Opera and stuff like that. Attack of the Mutant, you know, Goosebumps' portrayal of a comic books villain in real life. That basically says it all. My Hairiest Adventure. You know, it's mid, in my opinion. A Nine Terror Tower. I personally think it's overrated, but you know, it's good. The Cuckoo Clock of Doom. You know, I thought this story is one of my favorites, honestly. Monster Blood 3. You know, I thought this was a good book. You know, for what it was. So, I'm gonna talk a little bit about this one. You know, this was one of my favorite ones when I was a kid. You know, like the first three Monster Bloods. You know, Monster Blood 1, Monster Blood 2, and Monster Blood 3. Those are some of my favorites, you know, growing up. And this one, I tend to have read a lot more than the first two. We are not counting Monster Blood 4 in that conversation from when I was a kid, because I never had it when I was a kid. But yeah, out of all my Goosebumps books at the time, you know, it was like Stay Out of the Basement, The Haunted Mask, even, The the first two Monster Bloods, and Monster Blood 3, of course. The Hollow Mask 2. I even had Say Cheese and Die. I did not have the collection I have right now when I was little. Just saying. But I mean, I also had I Live in Your Basement, which is extraordinary rare and expensive. And I still have it. We will get to that book when we get to it. But Monster Blood 3, do I think it holds up as good as it was back then? I mean, I still think it's good. And I have a lot of love for this book, for helping me get through a certain time in my life. But, yeah, it's good, but not as good as I remembered. But this is basically the story when the main character in Monster Blood 1 and 2, the main character of Evan is, I'm guessing, either gets exposed to Monster Blood and then he grows into a giant, basically. Just kind of like what the cover shows, but not quite exactly accurate at the same time. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. Just, it got me through a rough time in my life in elementary school. But, yeah, let's move on. It came from beneath the sink. It's how do I? It's an easy to beat villain, basically. But, not if you're me, because I'm lazy and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. But it didn't really seem that believable. I didn't think it was very believable. To me, it doesn't feel like R.L. Stine wrote it. There's a few books I feel like R.L. Stine did not write. There's a lot of rumors about there being shadow writers of R.L. Stine. Because the guy was getting done with the book like almost, I forget how long it was, but it was quick. Anyway, let's move on. Night of the Living Dummy 2. This is basically the introduction to Slappy. And spoiler alert, sorry about that, but I figure most people already know about reading the first book already, but this is the introduction to Slappy. And once again, I didn't really care too much for it. The Barking Ghost, it's alright. After the last collection video and the rankings and stuff, I thought this book, I thought it was good, but just wasn't exactly what I wanted. The cover is badass, though, I will say that. Anyway, the horror at Camp Jelly Jam. I could really care less about this book. personally speaking. I was never good at sports. I never wanted to be forced into sports. But, yeah. I like watching certain sports like football and baseball and basketball from time to time. Even wrestling from time to time. That is, if you consider wrestling a sport. Um, Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. I've always thought lawn gnomes were stupid, honestly. So, that being said, I never really cared for this book at all. Story was fine, characters were okay, but the lawn gnomes as a villain I did not really like because I think lawn gnomes are stupid. A shocker on Shock Street. This book has seen much better days, by the way. I thought it was good. I liked all the horror movie references and stuff, but you know, I thought it was good. Gonna reposition. There we go. And then we get to the Haunted Mask 2. Now, I think this and the original Haunted Mask are best read back to back. Honestly. The best characters in Goosebumps, I would say, is from the original Haunted Mask 1 and Haunted Mask 2. Personally speaking. But, yeah, I prefer the original over the second one. And then we get the Headless Ghost. It's classic ghost story, I feel like. Haunted museum type thing. And then the legend of a headless ghost. Pretty good, I thought. The Abominable Snowman of Pasadena. It's, I thought it was mediocre. It's not as bad as some other books. But, yeah. It's, not too great. How I Got My Shrunken Head. I thought this was a decent one. I like the whole shrunken head thing. That was good. Night of the Living Dummy 3. Just more slappy. Not a big fan. Bad Hair Day. It's okay. Egg Monsters from Mars. Good book. Kind of. It's decent. I'll give it that. It's a nice little underrated book. The Beast from the East. It's decent as well. I'll probably read Egg Monsters from Mars over it though. Personally saying, I thought the story of Egg Monsters from Mars, pretty intriguing, I guess. This is a weird one. Say Cheese and Die Again. It's thin. And it not every version of this book is like this. The main book is kind of the same length of the same thickness of all these, but And then there's book editions like this that are thin like this, and the paper is like tissue paper. I personally do not know why they did the tissue paper thing, but there you go. You know, just take my word for it. I promise you, the paper is like tissue paper. And then here's another camp book, Ghost Camp. Um, it's good. I think most of the camp books are good, with the exception of the horror at Camp Jelly Jam, and you know, those things. But you know, I think most of the camp books are good, at least. This one's good. Move that. How to Kill a Monster. I think the episode is a much better version, but you know, I don't understand the hate for that book either. Legend of the Lost Legend, you know, personally, not when I go to. Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns. This one would probably be better if you read it during the Halloween season. You know, it's such a Halloween book. You know, just like the Haunted Mask, Haunted Mask 2. You know, all that. I even think if you were to read Welcome to Dead House during the Halloween season, it'll be a lot better. But yeah. And this next one would probably be a lot better if you read it during Halloween season as well. That's Vampire Breath. You know, vampires, you know, time travel and stuff. Weird twist, if you could call it a twist. All the Goosebumps books have a twist at the end. At least for the original series. But, yeah. And then we have Calling All Creeps. I don't really feel like saying much about this one. Just go read it. I think you guys would be entertained. Okay, let's see here. This one I also feel like R.L. Stine did not write. And that is How I Learned to Fly. Now, I think this is an okay book, but does not feel like Goosebumps at all. You know, this is like one of my least favorite Goosebumps books, at least from the original series. But that's because it doesn't even feel like Goosebumps. So, if I'm rating it with all my other Goosebumps books in the original series, this does not feel like Goosebumps. So, therefore, it comes in like the top 3 worst for me, along with You Can't Scare Me. I did not like that one either. From, if you guys remember, I guess. This one's is probably the worst one of all, in my opinion, and that is Chicken Chicken. Please tell me what the hell was scary about chicken. End of story. Don't go to sleep. You know, things about this book I thought were good at best. You know, the whole thing, I don't know. Things about it were fine, but were decent at best on paper. And no pun intended, on paper. And then we get to the blob that ate everyone. You know, kind of, you know, that old movie, the the Blob. I don't know if you guys even know about that movie, but this kind of felt like kind of a cash in, if you ask me. But that being said, I think it was still relatively decent. The Curse of Camp Cold Lake, I would probably say this. It's probably 50-50 on which day, but this and Welcome to Camp Nightmare are probably my top 2 favorite camp books from the original series, personally. You will notice I'm missing numbers 57 and 51. But we'll get to that in a minute. Deep Trouble 2. I thought this, it's a sequel to the Deep Trouble 1. I thought this one was just a little bit better. But at the same time, I didn't really feel like it really worked. Now this one worked big time. The Holland School. The writing in this book is good. It's actually pretty excellent in telling about this Holland School. Things happen in this book, and it's pretty much damn near flawless, if you ask me. Werewolf Skin. I thought it was good. Definitely not one I didn't like. And then we get to another favorite of mine, I Live in Your Basement. As you could tell, I am currently rereading this one, or in the process of rereading it. It's a good one. I think this is like psychological horror. I'm not even gonna spoil it, but but I had this copy when I was a kid. It has seen better days, but this one has also got me through tough times. And then number 62 and final book in the original series, Monster Blood 4. Now this one, Monster Blood 1 was the best out of the Monster Bloods in my opinion. Monster Blood 2 is the second best Monster Blood in my opinion. And then Monster Blood 3 is the third best. And then Monster Blood 4, I think is underrated, personally. A lot of people say this is like the worst book in the original series. Some people saying that it doesn't even come close. Well, this is better than, this piece of crap right here. Like I said before, what's so scary about a damn chicken? And then, this is a whole different type of Monster Blood than the other 3. This Monster Blood, if you get it multiplies. It doesn't grow, it multiplies. Okay? This was something new. And in my opinion, it worked. Excuse me, guys. God damn. I need to take a chill pill. Now we're getting into a series in 2000 now. This is the only series 2000 book I have, and it's number 8. And I still do this, I have not read it. Fright Camp. You know, whatever. And then we get Goosebumps Wanted, The Haunted Mask. You know, it was okay. It was alright. Goosebumps, we're getting into the Most Wanted series here. This is a special edition. The 12 Screams of Christmas. Really, the only time to really read this is on Christmas. You know, either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. Either one, it works fine. I personally didn't really care too much for it. I thought it was a little bit longer than I would have liked it, but yeah. Again, with the Most Wanted. Son of Slappy, this is number 2. Not a big fan of Slappy. Still. Number 4. Frankenstein's Dog. I'm not even gonna give off the numbers. You can read them right here. Starting here is number 6. And then, yeah. We get Creature Teacher, The Final Exam. I have not read it. This one, number 7, Nightmare on Clown Street. And, you know, it's alright. Not bad. Probably out of the Most Wanted, it's probably near my favorite, honestly. Night of the Puppet People. It's okay. But, you know, besides for A Nightmare on Clown Street, this is another special edition, by the way. The Haunter. I thought this one was excellent, you know. And then we're getting into Hall of Horrors. Only have 2 books in that series. Why I Quit Zombie School. You know, it's decent. This is a special edition. The 5 Masks of Dr. Scream. You know, I thought it's pretty good. You know, I thought it was good, personally. Okay, where are we at now? Right here. Revenge of the Living Dummy. You see, now you probably know why I think Slappy is overrated. Because there's just way too many books on him. And then he gets his own little series. Like, I don't get it. Who's Your Mummy? You know, I thought it was good, personally speaking. The Horror at Chiller House. I didn't really understand it, personally. Move this out of the way. Okay. Give Yourself Goosebumps. I got a few here. Escape from the Carnival of Horrors. Night in Werewolf Woods. This is one I had when I was a kid, if I remember right. Beware of the Purple Peanut Butter. I don't really remember liking it very much, but Eh. And this is not my original copy, by the way. My original copy got long gone. Welcome to the Wicked Wax Museum. Please don't feed the vampire. Yeah, right. Like a poodle could be a fucking vampire. Toy terror, batteries included. This one was kind of stupid, I'm not gonna lie. And then we're here getting into, these are like original Goosebumps books, but, more modern, I guess. I don't know. The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, like that cover. Welcome to Camp Nightmare, like that cover. Be careful what you wish for. I think, it's an alright cover, I guess, but, The Werewolf of Fever Swamp, good cover, you know. Scarecrow Walks at Midnight, I like that cover a lot as well. A Night in Terror Tower, like that cover a lot as well. I have The Living Dummy 2. Whatever. And then Abominable Snowman of Pasadena. Alright. Now, these next books are like in the middle of, like, they were released in between these ones and, you know, these ones. We got Bad Hair Day. Don't Go to Sleep. And then this is one of those books that I do not have for the original series, but I have this. My Best Friend is Invisible. Want to get it for the original series. And besides for that, I'm missing that for the original series, but I'm also missing Beware the Snowman for the original series. So besides for that, my original series is incomplete. The Haunted School, we've already talked about it over there. Slappy World. Revenge of the Invisible Boy. It's okay, I guess. They Call Me the Night Howler. It's okay. Episode books. The Cuckoo Clock of Doom. Very nice. And then we get the movie novel. You know, I don't really like either of the movies, but, you know, whatever. I guess let's go right here to this little shelf and stuff. We got the Spine Shiver series. So we got The Grin in the Dark. You know, this is actually a really nice book. It's like nice as in basically if Goosebumps wasn't scary enough, you know, and you want a chapter book unlike a collection of short stories like Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, read this. You would not be disappointed. And then we got the Spine Shivers, the Screaming Bridge. You know, it's good. I would probably prefer The Grin in the Dark, though. And then we have the Creature in the Crystal. It's good, you know. And then we have Attack of the Mud Creatures. It's good too. And then I have this book just titled The Haunting. I haven't already read it though. Haunted Campers. The Haunted Graveyard, and other ghost stories. Haunted Babysitters from Real Life Case Files. Okay. Here's kind of a more modern series. Creepers. Mirror, Mirror. Dr. Death. Cold Kisser. The Scarecrow. The Gravedigger. Ghost Rider. Pen Pals. Stage Fright. The Piano. I actually kind of like this one. I like most of them, but this little series right here. Frightville. I only got 2 books in this series. Don't Let the Doll In and Curse of the Wish Eaters. And these are by Mike Ford. Pretty cool. Here's some older books, or at least, I don't know if this one's technically older, but it's The Girl Locked in the Room. Haunted Woods, this one's old. And I don't know if you guys read this one, Skeleton Man. It's okay. Kind of an old one too, but I guess these is, so we got this little Goosebumps collection of Monster Edition 3. I'm not gonna come with 3 books, but not really gonna pull that out. Then we got Goosebumps Living Dummy Collection, which you already know. Okay, I'll go over there. I'll show you the pictures of these. So we got the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark books. I got technically 2 copies of the first book. That's my original copy. Seen much better days. This is my new copy. This is the one I read more than that one. Still gonna keep that one though. And these are some of my original copies too. That's more Scary Stories. Excuse me. That's more scary stories to tell in a book. I mean, to tell in the dark. Sorry. My bad. That's the second book. Third book. Scary Stories 3. More Tales to Show Your Bones. Yeah. I like these books a lot. A lot. You know, a collection of short stories collected from folklore and retold by Alfred Schwartz, with drawings by Stephen Gamble. If you ever see these books, and then it says drawings by Brett Hellquist, do not buy it. Okay? Stephen Gamble's drawings are superior by a long shot. Let's see here. Graveyard School, April Ghouls Day. It was kind of stupid, not gonna lie. But I got a garage sale for, it says 50 cents, so this is, I guess I got this from the same garage sale, but a Graveyard Shift. It's a bigger one, but it's good. This is an R.L. Stine book called Ghosts of Fear Street. Body Snatchers from Outer Space. I'm not really a big fan of Fear Street, though. Sorry about my mess. And yeah. Fear Street Cheerleaders, The First Evil. And then we got Fear Street Lights Out. This is not really horror, but it's Goosebumps related in a way. It's kind of making fun of Goosebumps, but it's by R.U. Slime. This is Gooflumps. It's Eat Cheese and Barf. These books are not really good at all, but you know, kind of cheesy. No pun intended. Okay. Then we got Ghost Dog Secrets. The Haunted Museum. The Phantom Music Box. I haven't already read that one. Christina's Ghost. I haven't already read it, so I don't know if it's good or bad, honestly. A Ghost in the House. Yeah, Ghost in the House. You know, mirror. Looks fun, I guess. Last but not least, Scared Stiff. Yeah, that's about it. Whew. And that was a long video, man. Anyway, this video would probably not be uploaded tonight, but I just wanted to make a little video for y'all today. Turned out to be damn near an hour long, but yeah. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. And if you subscribed, you join the Hyena Pack. Peace.